Theseus was no ordinary boy. From a young age he exhibited a strength and curiosity that set him apart from his peers. Born to King Aegeus of Athens, he grew up in the distant land of Troezen, a place rich with myths and legends. The coastal town, with its ancient architecture and breathtaking landscapes, was a world of wonder for the young Theseus. His mother Aethra kept his father's identity a secret, nurturing him with tales of heroism and valor. She knew that one day, the truth would have to be revealed. One day, young Theseus discovered a sword and sandals hidden beneath a heavy rock. This was no ordinary discovery, it was a moment that would change his life forever. These were the tokens left by Aegeus, a test for his unknown son. The sword and sandals were symbols of his royal lineage and the challenges that awaited him. Theseus, strong and brave, easily lifted the rock. His strength was not just physical, it was a testament to his inner resolve and determination. Aethra revealed his true parentage and the dangerous journey that lay ahead. She spoke of his father, King Aegeus, and the troubled city of Athens that needed a hero. Athens, his rightful home, was beset by troubles. The city was in turmoil, plagued by threats both internal and external. It was a city crying out for a savior. Theseus, filled with a hero's spirit, chose to travel by land, facing the perils of the road to prove his worth. He knew that the journey would be fraught with danger, but he was determined to face it head-on. His journey would be a trial by fire, a testament to his courage and cunning. The road ahead was treacherous, filled with obstacles that would test his mettle at every turn. He set off, eager to confront the unknown and claim his birthright. With each step, Theseus moved closer to his destiny, ready to embrace the challenges that lay ahead and fulfill his role as a hero of Athens. The road to Athens was fraught with danger. Bandits and monsters roamed freely, preying on unsuspecting travelers. One such villain was Periphetes, a giant of a man who terrorized the path near Epidaurus. He was known as the club-bearer for his weapon of choice, a massive bronze club. Theseus encountered Periphetes on a narrow stretch of road. The giant, confident in his size and strength, blocked the young hero's path. He sneered at Theseus, mocking his courage and challenging him to fight. Theseus, unfazed by the giant's bluster, drew his sword. A fierce battle ensued. Theseus, agile and quick, dodged the club's deadly arc. Seizing his moment, he struck, disarming the giant and claiming the bronze club as his own. Periphetes, defeated and disarmed, met his end. Theseus continued on his journey, his reputation growing with each victory. Each challenge he faced only added to his legend, and tales of his bravery spread far and wide. People spoke of his strength, his cunning, and his unwavering determination to rid the land of its many dangers. He soon reached the forested Isthmus of Corinth, a place ruled by the fearsome Sinis. This dense and foreboding forest was known to be a place where few dared to venture, for it was said to be haunted by the malevolent presence of Sinis, a man whose cruelty knew no bounds. This bandit, nicknamed Pitiocamptes, the Pine Bender, had a particularly gruesome method of dispatching his victims. Sinis was notorious for his sadistic pleasure in watching his captives suffer, and his reputation struck fear into the hearts of all who heard his name. He would bend 2 pine trees to the ground, tying one arm of his captive to each tree. The tension in the trees would build, and when released, the force would tear the victim apart. It was a fate too horrifying to imagine, and many had fallen victim to this cruel method. When Theseus encountered Sinis, the bandit attempted the same fate for the young hero. Sinis, confident in his strength and the effectiveness of his gruesome method, underestimated Theseus. He believed that this young man would be just another victim, another name to add to his list of conquests. However, Theseus was no ordinary opponent. With incredible strength he broke free from his bonds, turning the tables on Sinis. The young hero's determination and power were unmatched, and he quickly overpowered the bandit. With incredible strength, he broke free from his bonds, turning the tables on Sinis. Theseus used the very same method Sinis had employed on countless innocents, ensuring that the bandit met the same gruesome end he had inflicted on so many others. He subjected the cruel bandit to the same gruesome death he had inflicted on so many others. The forest, once a place of terror, was now free from the malevolent presence of Sinis. The people who had lived in fear could now breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that the Pine Bender was no more. The forest, once a place of terror, echoed with the sighs of relief from those who had lived in fear of the Pine Bender. The sunlight filtering through the trees seemed brighter, the air fresher, and the once ominous forest was now a place of peace and tranquility. Theseus had not only defeated a great evil, but had also restored hope and safety to the land. The path ahead remained treacherous. Theseus reached a narrow, rocky passage overlooking the sea. This was the domain of Siren, a ruthless bandit who forced travelers to wash his feet on a precarious cliff edge. As they knelt, he would kick them off the cliff to their deaths, where a giant sea turtle waited below to devour their bodies. Siren, arrogant and cruel, demanded the same service from Theseus. The young hero played along, pretending to comply with the bandit's demand. However, as Siren leaned back in satisfaction, Theseus seized his moment. With a swift move, he shoved the surprised bandit over the cliff edge. Siren plummeted towards the waiting jaws of the giant turtle below, meeting a fittingly ironic end. Section 5 Wrestling Cercyon. Theseus's journey continued through the land of Eleusis, where he encountered the formidable King Cercyon. This powerful ruler was a renowned wrestler, challenging all passers-by to a wrestling match. Cercyon, undefeated and arrogant, saw these contests as a way to assert his dominance and instill fear. Theseus, never one to back down from a challenge, accepted Cercyon's invitation to wrestle. The two grappled on the dusty ground, their strength seemingly equal. The fight was long and arduous, each combatant vying for the upper hand. However, Theseus, drawing on his cunning and agility, managed to outmaneuver the powerful king. He finally pinned Cercyon to the ground, claiming victory and putting an end to the king's reign of terror. Section 6. The Bed of Procrustes. As Theseus neared Athens, he faced one final notorious villain, Procrustes, the Stretcher. Procrustes was infamous throughout the land for his cruel and unusual methods of dealing with travelers. His name struck fear into the hearts of those who journeyed near his domain. This sinister innkeeper lived beside the road, offering weary travelers a place to rest. His inn appeared inviting, a sanctuary for those exhausted from their travels. But behind this facade of hospitality lay a dark and malevolent intent. However, Procrustes' hospitality hid a dark secret. He was not content with merely providing a bed and a meal. His true nature was far more sinister, and his intentions were anything but kind. He had a bed of iron upon which he forced his guests to lie. This bed was no ordinary resting place. It was a device of torture, designed to inflict pain and suffering on those who dared to accept his offer of rest. If they were too short, he would stretch them to fit. Procrustes would use his cruel tools to elongate their bodies, causing excruciating pain as their limbs were pulled and their joints were strained to the breaking point. If they were too tall, he would hack off their limbs. With a cold and calculated precision, he would sever their legs or arms, ensuring they fit perfectly into his iron bed, regardless of the agony it caused. Theseus, aware of Procrustes' gruesome methods, pretended to be a weary traveler. He approached the inn with caution, his mind set on putting an end to the villain's reign of terror. When Procrustes offered him a bed for the night, Theseus agreed, but he insisted that Procrustes himself demonstrate its comfort. Theseus's request was cunning, designed to turn the tables on the malevolent innkeeper. The innkeeper, caught in his own trap, lay upon the iron bed. Procrustes, confident in his control, complied, unaware of the fate that awaited him. Theseus, with grim satisfaction, subjected Procrustes to the same fate he had inflicted on so many others. The hero ensured that Procrustes experienced the full measure of his own cruelty, bringing justice to those who had suffered before him. In this way, Theseus rid the land of one more evil, making the road to Athens safer for all who traveled it. Section 7. Arrival in Athens. News of Theseus's exploits had already reached Athens. People whispered of his courage and cunning, hailing him as a true hero. Upon arriving in the city, he was greeted with a mixture of awe and trepidation. King Aegeus, unaware of his son's true identity, welcomed the stranger who had rid the land of such terrible evils. However, Medea, the sorceress and Aegeus's wife, recognized Theseus as a threat to her own ambitions. She feared he would usurp her power and expose her treachery. Plotting against the young hero, she convinced Aegeus to test Theseus, sending him on a perilous quest to slay the fearsome Minotaur. Section 8. The Labyrinth Awaits. Unbeknownst to Theseus, his arrival in Athens was but the beginning of his greatest adventure. The labyrinth, a twisting maze that housed the monstrous Minotaur, awaited him. Would he overcome this final challenge and claim his rightful place as the hero of Athens? The story will continue in the next videos, so stay tuned.